Hey guys, Jordan Boostmaster here. So I wanted to make a different kind of video than I ever made before. So since Whistler's opening on Friday, May 20th, I just thought it would be really cool to make this kind of video where I just tell you guys a story about my first time at Whistler, because it was a really awesome experience, really fun, really good memories, and I just thought it'd be fun to do that. And then what you're seeing in the video is just GoPro footage from last year. And so basically it's kind of like the way that some video gamers make videos where they'll just kind of talk about a subject, but the video is just gameplay of some random game, you know? So this is kind of the same idea where it's just kind of, you know, GoPro footage of just hitting Whistler, and then I'm just talking about something. I'm just telling a story. Anyway, I hope I don't sound too bad because I am still recovering from sort of a cold and stuff, so my throat's not 100%. So the first time I ever went to Whistler, this was way back in 2005. So it's been 11 years now, actually. So that's, yeah, quite a while. So it was me and my friend Andrew. We went up with my parents. We went up to Whistler for a weekend. And so basically we stayed in some hotel by Creekside there for like, I guess it was 2 nights or whatever it was. So I was 16, friend Andrew was 15. And this is our both first time at Whistler. Like, we were both super excited. You know, I had just got into mountain biking in the last like couple years at this point. Basically from my friend Andrew. He's been to mountain biking a little bit more, I think. But so basically, being, you know, teenagers and poor, we didn't really have jobs. We owned our own bikes, but all we had were these like really cheap, crappy hardtails. So we brought the bikes along. I can just show you what bikes we had. That's me on the left, that's Andrew on the right. Those are our bikes that we owned. I had like some Norco Wolverine that was way too big for me. It was like a 22-inch frame. I have no idea why I bought that. It was really stupid. It was way too big. Just some adventure cross bike is what it was called, I guess. Obviously not good for Whistler Bike Park, but we definitely rented bikes for the bike park for sure. But otherwise we just used those bikes just to ride around for fun. Anyway, and then my friend Andrew had some, I think it was like Canadian Tire bike, I think. I don't even know. I forget now. But anyway, so we knew we were going to be renting bikes, so we were really excited for renting bikes. So I remember like the night before, we went to the village, checked out the rental bikes. They looked so sweet. They were Kona bikes. That's before, Giants kind of took over the main rental area, right? So the main rental shop right by the lift was all Kona bikes. And so here you can see me on the bike. It's called a freight train, they called it. So, naming after the trail. Kona freight train. It's super cool. That was like such a sweet feeling bike. Going from my $600 hardtail, it was way too big for me, to this like $6,000 mountain bike. Felt just amazing. Like, it was absolutely crazy. It was so awesome how good that felt. It was crazy. My friend Andrew, he rented a different bike from a different shop because I guess it was a bit cheaper. He got a Norco Atomic, and so yeah, that was pretty awesome too. So pretty much like neither of us had ever ridden a bike like that, so we were just so stoked. We were just like in heaven, just riding those bikes. And I can definitely tell those bikes really did make me feel a lot more confident on the trails. Just all the suspension, everything. It really, yeah, like I definitely rode like way better and harder than I would normally have ridden on my original bike. So we were there for the whole weekend, but we just rode the park for the Saturday, and it was just such nice conditions out. This was in August 20th, 2005, and so basically it was not even like that hot. Basically, it was sunny mostly, and then there's some clouds, and then there's even a point in time when it started to sprinkle a little bit, which is fine because it was a little bit dry anyway. So it was just an amazing day. Like, the conditions were just perfect. Plus, there wasn't even much of a lineup at all. Like, being a Saturday, the lineups to go on the lift were maybe like 5 to 10 minutes long at the most. Like, not even much at all. So we just rode the entire day. Like, got as much runs in as we possibly could fit. And so actually, we didn't even stop for lunch because we just packed our lunch into our backpacks. So we just ate it on the lift just to avoid wasting any time. And like and we totally just had the energy to go all day, like nonstop, never stopped, ate on the lifts. It was just amazing. And so obviously, we made sure we rode like all the, the best trails, all the most popular trails, right? So we rode A-Line, for the first time. I barely even remember it now because that's been 11 years ago, and riding A-Line so much since then, I can't even remember what it was like, my first experience. Yeah, I can hardly remember it anymore, but it was just awesome. And this is when Crank It Up had like just been starting to be built, so like the first section was only there, and it was all right. And we rode Dirt Merchant. That was like one of my favorite trails there. Again, I barely even remember what it was like because it was so long ago. But I just remember thinking of it as like one of my favorite trails, though. It was so awesome. But we did try to avoid like the double black technical trails because we weren't really good enough to ride those yet. You know, we're just like, our main experience was just on these like, you know, cheap hardtails riding a local mountain, right? So we're not exactly that good. But yeah, I just remember like, you know, I could totally hit the jumps like pretty decently for how inexperienced I was. Like I don't know, maybe I was clearing like half the jumps on A-line or something. I don't know for sure. I'd probably like otherwise just sort of case or land on the top of the jumps for like a third of them or up to half of them maybe. I don't know. I kind of forget, but I was still feeling pretty good because I was definitely jumping more than and farther than I would have if I was on my original bike, right? So I definitely felt like way better on that bike, right? Like it was just such a sweet bike. And the bike geometries, they really have changed over the years, you know? Look at this bike. Look at the Kona Freight Train bike. The way that I sit on it and how like, kind of like how high the handlebars are compared to like the seat or whatever. I love that kind of feel of bike. Like I just thought it felt so good. Since then I really didn't care for Konas at all actually, although at that point I didn't know anything, so I just thought that was like the sweetest bike ever. Yeah, I really did like the feel of those bikes. Nowadays, DH bikes do change. Their geometry is definitely different. They're kind of like lower bikes, wider handlebars, sort of slacker head angles, and all that kind of stuff. I do prefer the kind of feel of these original bikes, which is more similar to what my Norco Truax is. It's a bit more free-ridey, where it's not so slack of a head angle, not such a long wheelbase. Because I love to jump, you know, and jumping requires a bit of a shorter wheelbase and steeper head angle. That's, you know, that's what dirt jump bikes are, right? The steepest head tube angle, shortest wheelbases. Anyway, I just thought those bikes were awesome. I just thought they were so sweet. I just felt so good on them. So we decided to do one garbanzo lap and just check out that part of the bike park, and that was really awesome. Like that was so beautiful. Going up the lift, I just remember it taking like forever just to get to the top because like, I don't know. Doing it now doesn't seem as long. I just remember the first time we did it, I just remember feeling like, man, this is taking forever to get up. But it was so worth it. Like it was so awesome. It was so nice and cool, beautiful views. It was just awesome. And so basically, Blue Velvet certainly didn't exist at that point. There's just Original Sin and some of Freight Train. So we basically went down Original Sin at first. That's what we decided to do. It was just a single block. Not too crazy, but there were still parts where we had to walk our bikes because we weren't really good enough. But yeah, I remember Original Sin. That was actually really cool. Remember going down this one like steep rock thing where there's this like lady walking her bike down. We had to like avoid her. And I remember some of Freight Train was just like super fun. I just loved Freight Train for the sections that we rode. It was just so flowy and fun with those jumps. And oh man, I just like had such good memories from that day, the whole day really. And like the Garbanzo run was awesome. Original Sin and Freight Train, so sweet. The atmosphere was so cool. Like, I mean, I'd been to Whistler like, you know, a few times before, but you know, this is the first time for mountain biking, and like, and then I just like fell in love with Whistler, right? Yeah, I don't know, like something about just like kind of the cooler air and just like being in the mountain biking like in a bike park. It was just so cool, and that was like the first time ever being in a bike park, right? Like a lift access bike park. So it was just so yeah, man, that was just like the coolest thing ever. And so for the end of the day, I think we had to bring Andrew's bike back by like 5 o'clock. Because that's when his rental was, yeah, it's supposed to be due by. I think my bike was supposed to be in just by 8 o'clock, but we just kind of stopped. I think we ate supper at like the GLC Bike and Bean place right here where you see the drops. And yeah, it was so cool just, you know, being able to go up the lifts and see like the boneyard where the slopestyle course is, like all for the first time, right? Like, I'm trying to remember if I took that GLC drop, like the biggest drop. I kind of forget now. I totally forget. I just know that we did like those two smaller ones on the right, one with the wood and then the middle one. That was just such a sweet day, such an awesome day, you know. So yeah, I just thought that'd be a really cool story to tell since like Whistler's opening up in like, you know, a few days here. Yeah, I just thought like, do you guys have any like really cool experiences? Like, tell me in the comments of like, what was like your favorite bike park experience? You know, like, or maybe your favorite Whistler experience, or like what was your first time at Whistler or any bike park? Like how was it, you know? Was it awesome? Did you like have any crashes? Alright guys, I think that's all for the story for today, and thank you guys for watching all the way through. And yeah, I'm kind of wondering if like you guys are interested in these kind of videos more in the future, you know, some kind of like little like topical videos where I talk about something and just show GoPro footage, just like kind of how some of those gaming channels do it, where they just kind of talk about something and they just have like random gameplay. I don't know, like, is that something you guys maybe want to see more of from me in the future? Or do you just not care really? I don't know. Do you want to hear like any more stories really, or just hear me talk about some other kind of industry related topics? So yeah, let me know what you think about this though, if you want to see more of this stuff like this. Or so basically, yeah, I hope you guys will check out my channel, subscribe. I've always got more videos incoming, and yeah, have a good one.